Okay. I know, guys, that you are waiting for the second episode of Portrait Drawing Lesson Series, so let's get into it. Hi, everybody, welcome to Drawanart. In this second episode of Portrait Drawing Lesson Series, you will learn how to draw noses or nose anatomy just by using a drawing proportions for any portraiture. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to draw a noses with a bit touch of structure and anatomy of a nose. So I'm starting off with the guidelines, following the reference photo closely enough, and you can see that, and then structure the nose anatomy according to that. So the first thing here is to draw the nose in a right direction. Make sure to understand the nose as a simplified box. As the nose is from the front view, so the tip of the nose aligned with the center line of the face. So that's how you can draw the narrow nostrils. After that, the structure of the nose will look like this. So yes, once you are done with the basic guidelines, now blocking the further details for the shading of the nose just by leaving the nose bridge area for the highlights. Just like this. So make sure when you are looking at your reference photo, you are just looking at the shapes that you've got to draw. And that is a basic key to draw accurate. And after that, I'll blend out the first layer of graphite with the tissue paper. Now once again I'm marking the guideline to get the accurate measurement of the nostrils area, and then I'll block out the nostrils, which is the lower part of the nose, because that's where a lot of the shadow is. So I'm just building it up in a light layer of graphite to just get a nice and soft transition rather than doing a harsh pencil strokes. And then I'll block out the structure of the nose more deeply so that I can see where the shadows are, but I'm leaving here certain areas free of any graphite because there is where the highlight are going to be. Okay, once I have marked all of the shadowed areas, now I'm going with the darker pencil to mark in the even more darker areas, especially in the nostril area first. So I'm using this to really start to show where the structure of the darkest part of the nose is going to be. Now as you can see that as I started adding up some more darker values, it really starts to make the drawing looks three-dimensional and realistic. So make sure not to add really harsh strokes. Apply a lighter circular pencil strokes to blend it and make it more of a soft transition. And then I'm going in with the blending stump to really blend out everything evenly. So I'm also working around the rest of the nose area and start adding more shadows and really looking at a reference photo to get that contrast right. If you want to do realistic art, I really recommend that you always use a reference photo because it's really hard for you to imagine all these realistic parts while drawing realistically. As this portrait doesn't have really harsh outlines, it's just the shadows and the highlights from where the light is bouncing off individual areas. So what I'm doing here is working on the highlights, and I'm using here an electric eraser and an ordinary eraser combined together for the harsher and softer highlights to certain areas. And the highlights you can see are not just straight lines, there are a lot of individual shapes to the highlights, and they are all quite varied. So you really need to look at the reference photo if you really want to do the photorealism. So now I'm going to further darken up the darkest areas using a black pencil by Faber-castle because I'm already done with the highlights. Because once you are done with the highlights, you don't need to shadow and shade in because it might muddy up the highlights and they won't stay brighter. So while readjusting the nostrils area and doing it a bit darker, it will look quite more prominent where those dark nostrils are, but it's still softly transition into the areas around it. As you can see that it looks so natural and realistic. Anyways guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to check out my previous video as well. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can check that. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, then make sure you subscribe. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.